Hello everyone, Dennis here. In this video, I am going to discuss review GCE O-Level Mathematics October-November 2017 paper 2. Subject code is 4048. This video is brought to you by Ace with Dennis. Now, learning can be smart, not hard. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell notification button to stop missing out free lessons from me. Alright, let's start to discuss the paper. Question 1. A. Solve the inequality x plus 4 over 5 greater or equals to 2 minus x over 3. 2 marks. So this is solving inequality question. So the first thing we need to do is we cross multiply this inequality. Then we'll get 3 times x plus 4 greater or equals to 5 times 2 minus x. Then the next thing we need to do is we just expand the bracket. We get 3x plus 12 greater or equals to 10 minus 5x. Then we move the x terms to the left hand side and the constant terms to the right hand side. Then we will have 3x plus 5x greater or equals to 10 minus 12. Simplify, we'll get 8x greater or equals to negative 2. And x is greater or equals to negative 1 over 4. B. Expressed as a single fraction in its simplest form, 2y over 5 minus 2y minus 3y over 5 minus 2y squared. 2 marks. So this is algebraic fraction, and we need to simplify the fraction given. So from here, we can see that the denominator for the first fraction is 5 minus 2y and the denominator for the second fraction is 5 minus 2y squared. So the first fraction is lack of 5 minus 2y. Then we make them to have the common denominator. We have 5 minus 2y squared. For the first fraction, the 2y need to multiply with 5 minus 2y. And for the second fraction, the numerator just remain as minus 3y. So next thing we need to do is we expand the bracket. We get 10y minus 4y squared minus 3y over bracket 5 minus 2y squared. Simplify, we will have 7y minus 4y squared over 5 minus 2y squared. We can factorize the common factor, which is y bracket 7 minus 4y over 5 minus 2y squared. C. Simplify 18h cubed j cubed over 5k cubed divided by 3h to the power 5k over 10j squared. 2 marks. So this is the simplifying indices expression question. So the very first thing we need to do to simplify this expression is we change the division to multiplication. So when we change it to multiplication, the second fraction will become reciprocal. Right, so the first fraction will just remain as the same. Right, so after that, once we have changed this, we can just take the numbers, multiply with the numbers, so 18 times 10, and the denominator 5 times 3. And when look at the indices here, right, with the same letter, if it is divide, then we minus the power. Same letter, when it's multiply, we add the power. Alright, so this one, h cubed divided by h5, it will be h to the power 3 minus 5. For the j is 3 plus 2, right? Multiply become plus k cubed and k here, so power 1, so it's 3 plus 1 at the bottom. Okay, so this is a very easy method to do. So I know some of you may say that I want to cancel maybe j cubed with the j square. You can do that, but you need to be careful. Make sure you don't make mistake. Right, so when I multiply this whole thing, I will get 12. And this whole thing, right, I will get h to the power negative 2, j to the power 5 over k to the power 4. Alright, since we need to leave our answer all in positive indices, so the h negative 2 here becomes h squared at the bottom. Right, so 12 times j to the power 5 over h squared, k to the power 4. So this will be the answer. Next one, D. Simplify bracket 16t to the power 8 over v to the power 12, close bracket to the power negative 1 over 4. 2 marks. Again, this is simplifying the indices expression. So what we need to do is we just need to change the negative power to be positive power first, okay, to make it easy. So when change negative power to positive power, the fraction inside become reciprocal. Alright, then after that, we just remove the bracket by multiplying this 1/4 here into each of the powers inside the fraction here, right? So it becomes v to the power 12 times a quarter over 2 to the power 4 times a quarter times t to the power 8 times a quarter here, right? Then we simplify everything. Then we'll get v cubed over 2t squared. So this will be the answer. E. Solve the equation 2 over x minus 2 plus 3 over x plus 4 equals to 1. 3 marks. Alright, so this is algebraic fraction in equation. So we have, as we can see from here, we have two fractions with different denominator. We always want to make them to have the same denominator, right? So what we need to do is we just need to multiply these two denominators together, x minus 2 times x plus 4. For the numerator, the 2 here will multiply with x plus 4, and the 3 here will multiply with x minus 2, and then equals to 1. Okay, so once we reach this step, what we need to do is we just move this x minus 2 times x plus 4 to the right hand side, and this is what we get. 2 times x plus 4 plus 3 times x minus 2 equals x minus 2 times x plus 4. So the next step what we need to do is just expand the bracket. The first bracket here will get 2x plus 8, and the second bracket will get 3x minus 6. And from here, we have two brackets. We use the rainbow methods to multiply or expand them together. So we get x squared. So x times x is x squared. This 2x is, as you can see, minus 2 times x is negative 2x. X times 4 is 4x. So 4x minus 2x, we get positive 2x. Then minus 2 times 4 is negative 8. So the next thing we need to do is simplify the left-hand side here. 2x plus 3x is 5x. 8 minus 6 is 2. And then equals to the right-hand side, everything remains the same. So the next step, of course, move everything to the right-hand side because the x squared here is already positive. Then we just keep it at the right-hand side. Then we'll get x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 8 minus 2. Simplify further, we'll get x squared minus 3x minus 10. Right, when I look at this expression, the x squared minus 3x minus 10, I'll think about factorizing it to solve this equation. So from here, we can factorize it as x plus 2 times x minus 5, which is equal to 0. Then we can say that x plus 2 equals to 0 or x minus 5 equals to 0. Hence, the solution will be x equals to negative 2 or x equals to 5. Question 2. A. In 2014, the number of passengers passing through Changi Airport was 5.41 times 10 to the power 7. Part 1. Calculate the mean number of passengers passing through the airport each month. Give your answers in millions correct to 3 significant figures. 2 marks. Okay, so we need to calculate the mean, which means the average. So the mean will be the number of passengers in this 2014, which is 5.41 times 10 to the power 7, and divided by 12. Okay, because we have 12 months a year. Then after that, we can convert this number in standard form to 54.1 times 10 to the power 6. Why? Because the question wants us to leave the answer in millions. So a million is 10 to the power 6. Okay, then we take our calculator and calculate 54.1 divided by 12. We get 4.50833 and then times 10 to the power 6. Okay, and leave answer in 3SF, it will be 4.51 million. Okay, in 3SF. Remember, 10 power 6 is million. So this will be the answer. Then part 2, the number of passengers passing through the airport in December 2014 was 5.09 million. Calculate the percentage of the year's passengers that passed through the airport in December 2014. 2 marks. Okay, so what we need to do is just need to calculate the percentage of the number of passengers in December compared to the total number of passengers in the year 2014. Alright, so what we need to do is this is the number of passengers in December, which is 5.09 million, or times 10 power 6 here, then divided by the total passengers in that year, which is 5.41 times 10 to the power 7. And of course, we need to multiply by 100% because we need to leave answer in percentage, right? So after that, you can actually change this 5.09 times 10 power 6 in 10 power 7, and the number here becomes 0.509. Then divided by this number remain the same, 5.41 times 10 power 7, then times 100%. Why we need to do this? Because we can easily cancel the 10 power 7 with 10 power 7 here, right? And then we take our calculator, calculate this part, we'll get 9.41%, rounded up to 3SF. B. In 2013, the number of people from Europe that visited Singapore was 1.591 times 10 to the power 6. In 2014, this number increased by 1.6%. Calculate the number of people from Europe that visited Singapore in 2014. Give your answer in standard form. 2 marks. Okay, so now to get the number of people in 2014, it will be the number of people in 2013, which is 1.591 times 10 to the power 6, and then multiply with 1 plus 1.6%. Okay, because it increased by 1.6%. So we just take this number times with 1 plus 1.6 over 100. Okay, then we can calculate everything here, right? Or this number is 1.016 multiplied with 1.591 and then times 10 to the power 6. We'll get 1.616456 times 10 to the power 6. Alright, so this is the exact value for this calculation. Then for C, from 2013 to 2014, the total number of international visitors decreased by 3.1%. In 2014, the total number was 1.509 times 10 to the power 7. Calculate the number of international visitors in 2013. 2 marks. Okay, so this is the decrease case. The calculation is very similar with this calculation, but instead of plus, we minus. Okay, because for this case it increased, and for this case it decreased. Right, so now we know that the number of visitors in 2014 is this number. So we'll put the number here, 1.509 times 10 to the power 7, and we need to calculate the number of people in 2013. So this number multiply with 1 minus 3.1 over 100. Okay, because it decreased by 3.1%. So to calculate the number of people in 2013, then we take this number divided by this number. So it's 1.509 times 10 to the power 7 over 1 minus 0.031. We'll get 1.56 times 10 to the power 7. So this is rounded up to 3SF. Question 3. Answer the whole of this question on a sheet of graph paper. A number of bacteria are introduced to a culture. The number of bacteria, Y, in the culture T hours after they are first introduced is given by the formula Y equals 50 times 2 to the power T. The table shows some corresponding values of T and Y correct to 3 significant figures. So this is the table. A. How many bacteria are introduced to the culture at the start? 1 mark. Alright, so when it is at the start, it means that the T equals to 0. So we substitute T equals to 0 into the equation. We get Y equals 50 times 10 times 2 to the power 0. Since 2 to the power 0 is 1, so the answer is 50. Then B. Calculate the value of P. 1 mark. So the value of P is when T equals to 5 as shown in the table here, right? So we just say when T equals to 0.5, then Y equals to P. So substitute these two information into the equation. So P equals to 50 times 10 times 2 to the power 0.5, and take our calculator, calculate everything here. We'll get 70.7, rounded up to 3SF. C. Using a scale of 4 cm to represent 1 hour, draw a horizontal t-axis for the range of t from 0 to 4 inclusive. Using a scale of 2 cm to represent 100 bacteria, draw a vertical y-axis for the range of y from 0 to 800 inclusive. On your axis, draw a graph to show the number of bacteria in the culture for the range of t from 0 to 4 inclusive. 3 marks. Alright, so to answer this question, we need to have a graph paper and we draw the x and y axis based on the scale given. Alright, so for the x-axis is actually the time, right, or so-called the t-axis mentioned in the question, right, over here, this t-axis, so in hours. Then for the y-axis is the number of bacteria here. Alright, after that we can plot the scale here based on the scale given. Right, so for the x-axis, 4 cm is to 1 hour, so this is the first scale or first marking, second marking, third marking, and the fourth marking. So the range is from 0 to 4, so we stop here. Similarly, for the y-axis, 2 cm is 200, and from range from 0 to 800. Right, so this will be the marking, the scale marking here. And now we can start to plot the graph. Now the first point, as we have answered in part A, right, when time is 0, right, the t is the time is 0, so this will be the marking here, 50, right, from part A. We don't start from t or 0.5. Okay, then the next point we start from 0.5, 70.7. So this will be the second point. The next point 1 to 100, so this is the third point. Then continue the next point all the way to the last point. Then 4, t is 4, the y is 800. Then you can join all these points together with a curve, and this is how it looks like. Don't forget to label the graph y equals to 50 times 2 to the power of t. D. Use a graph to find how many hours it takes for the number of bacteria to reach 500. 1 mark. So to get the answer, we need to find it from the graph. So when the bacteria is at 500, then the time will be 3.3. Hence, the answer is 3.3 hours. E. Part 1. By drawing a tangent, find the gradient of the curve at 200. 2 marks. Alright, so as instructed by the question, we draw a tangent at the point 200, which will look something like this. Okay, so a tip to draw the tangent is place a ruler and touch the point at 200, and then when you adjust the ruler, make sure that the angle somewhere here is same as the angle somewhere here. Then we draw this straight line. Okay, so once you have drawn this tangent, then we can calculate the gradient. So we know the gradient formula is the rise over the run. So the rise, this is the rise, will be 400 to 0, right? So that means the rise is 400. And for the run, so this is the run. Okay, so this point is 3.5, this point is 0.6. So the run will be 3.5 minus 0.6, which is 2.9. Okay, you might get some different answers, but I believe the number is very similar. Okay, so it depends on how you draw the line, so the value might be different. Okay, it's slightly different. So the gradient now we can calculate as 400 over 2.9, and the value is 138, rounded off to 3SF. Okay, so now let's move on to part 2 here. What does the gradient represent? 1 mark. Okay, so this gradient refers to the number we get, 138. So what does this mean? So this is the graph of bacteria against the time in hours, right? So we can see that the number of bacteria increases over the time. So at this hour, 2 hours, right, the gradient is 138. So what does it mean? So it means that the gradient represents the rate of change of the number of bacteria at second hour is about 138 per hour. Okay, so remember, gradient is the rate of change when the x-axis is the time. Next, let's move on to question 4. A is the point, with the coordinates of -4, 10, and B is the point with the coordinates of 4, -2. A. Find the length of the line AB. 2 marks. To find the length of the line AB, we just apply the formula square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So for this case, my x2 is 4, my x1 is -4. So it becomes 4 minus -4 square. Then plus with my y2 is -2 and my y1 is 10. So it becomes -2 minus 10, then square. We calculate inside, we get square root of 208, and press calculator with the square root of 208, we will get 14.4, rounded off to 3SF. Then B, find the equation of the line AB. 2 marks. Now to find the equation of the line AB, the first thing we need to do is we need to find the gradient of AB. So the gradient formula will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my y2 is -2, y1 is -10, x2 is 4, and x1 is -4. So it becomes -2 minus 10 over 4 minus -4. Calculate, we get -3 over 2. So this is the gradient of the line AB. The equation will be in the form of y equals to mx plus c. So it becomes y equals -3 over 2x plus c. And now we want to find the value of c. So to find the value of c, we can use the coordinates of point A, which is -4, 10, which means that the x is -4 and the y is 10. We substitute these two values into the equation. It becomes 10 equals -3 over 2 times -4 plus c. When you calculate the c, we'll get 4. Of course, if you want, you can use point B, the coordinates of point B to find the c. You should get the same answer as well. Right, so now the equation of the line AB will be y equals to -3 over 2x plus 4. C. The equation of line P is 3x plus 2y equals 5. 1. Show how you can tell that the line P does not intersect the line AB. 2 marks. Alright, so to know whether two lines are intersecting each other or not, we need to see if they are parallel or not. So remember, if two lines are parallel, which means they have the same gradient. So what we need to do is we need to find what is the gradient of the line P. So the equation given for line P is 3x plus 2y equals to 5. Now to know the gradient of this line P, we need to rearrange this equation into the form of y equals to mx plus c, where the m is a gradient. Right, so it becomes 2y equals -3x plus 5, or y equals to -3 over 2x plus 5 over 2. And now we compare with the equation of the line AB, which we have gotten it in part B. It will be y equals -3 over 2x plus 4. Now let's compare the gradient here. So the gradient of both lines is -3 over 2. So this shows that they are both lines have the same gradient, and this means that they are parallel lines. Hence, line P does not intersect line AB. Therefore, shown. Okay, now let's move on to part 2. The equation of line Q is 6y equals 4x minus 37. Find the coordinates of the point of intersection of the line P and the line Q. 3 marks. Okay, so now we have line Q here, 6y equals to 4x minus 37. So to find the coordinates of the intersection point, we have to solve simultaneous equation. Right, so the line P equation is y equals -3 over 2x plus 5 over 2. I will label this as equation number 1. For line Q, given is 6y equals to 4x minus 37. And now we move the 6 to the right hand side. It becomes y equals to 2/3 x minus 37 over 6. Then I will label this as equation number 2. So I equate equation number 1 to equation number 2, and this is what we get. -3 over 2x plus 5 over 2 equals 2/3 x minus 37 over 6. Then both sides multiply by 6, I'll get -9x plus 15 equals 4x minus 37. Then I can solve this equation. It becomes 13x equals 52. Then x will be equals to 4. Now I know the x coordinates of the intersection point. I move on to find the y coordinate of the intersection point. Substitute x to the 4 into any of the equation. For this case, I substitute into equation number 1. Then y will be equals to negative 3 over 2 times 4 plus 5 over 2. Calculate, we will get negative 3.5. Hence, the coordinates of the intersection point is 4 and negative 3.5. Question 5. Given this diagram, points A, B, and C are at sea level. A is 104 meters from C on a bearing of 064 degrees. B is 135 meters from C on a bearing of 122 degrees. So let's label the angles from the information given. So this angle will be 64 degrees because this is the bearing of A from C. And this angle will be 122 degrees because this is the bearing of B from C. Now let's look at the question. A, calculate AB. 3 marks. So to calculate AB, the first thing we need to do is we need to find this angle. So this angle is angle ACB, and it is 122 degrees minus 64 degrees. We get 58 degrees. Let's label it as 58 degrees. And next, we need to look at this triangle ABC. So from this triangle ABC, we need to find the length of AB, where, as you can see, the angle 58 degrees is in between the line AC and the line BC. So this tells us that to find the length of AB, we can use cosine rule. Okay, if you apply the cosine rule, it will be AB squared equals to AC squared plus BC squared minus 2 times AC times BC times cosine angle ACB. Then we substitute all the values that we know. It becomes 104 squared plus 135 squared minus 2 times 104 times 135 times cosine 58. So AB will be square root of 14,160.867. So square root everything, we'll get 119 meters in 3SF. B. Calculate the bearing of A from B. 3 marks. To calculate the bearing of A from B, first we draw a north pole from point B. And then we need to find this angle. So this angle is angle ABC. We can apply sine rule here. So to apply sine rule, it will be sine angle ABC over 104 equals sine 58 degrees over 190. Then we bring the 104 to the right side. It becomes 104 times if sine 58 degrees over 119. Calculate, we get angle ABC equals to inverse of sine 0.74115, and the answer is 47.8 degrees to 1 decimal place. So let's label this 47.8 degrees on the diagram. Then we can extend the line of the north pole and to find this angle. So let's label this angle as x. The value of x here is this. As you can see, this is a Z letter, which means that x equals to 112 degrees. Why? Because this is alternate angles. So now this is the bearing of A from B. So to calculate this angle, it will be 180 plus 122 degrees plus 47.8 degrees. Calculate everything, we will get 349.8 degrees. C. A boat T travels in a straight line from C to B. Calculate the shortest distance of T from A during this journey. 2 marks. So the shortest distance here means that it is the perpendicular distance from point A to the line BC. Let's label this distance as h. So to calculate the value of h, we can use the area strategy, where if we calculate the area of this triangle ABC, we can use two formulas. One is half AB sine C, or another formula is half times base times height. So if I use the half times base times height, it will be half times 135 times h, where 135 is the base length BC and h is the perpendicular height of the triangle. We also can use the half AB sine C here, where my A is 104, my B is 135, and the angle C is 58 degrees. So here's the equation: half times 135 times h equals half times 104 times 135 times sine 58 degrees. Next, simplify this equation. Half cancel with a half, 135 cancel with 135, then it becomes h equals 104 times sine 58 degrees, which is 88.2 meters. D. C is a point at the base of a vertical cliff. D is a point on the top of the cliff vertically above C. The angle of depression of B from D is 27 degrees. Calculate the height of the cliff. 2 marks. Okay, to illustrate the description here, we can draw a right angle triangle to see the clearer picture. So this is point C and this is point B. The distance between these 2 points is 135 meters. Here is the point D because it is vertically above point C. Given that the angle of depression of B from D is 27 degrees, so this angle will be 27 degrees, hence this angle will be also 27 degrees because it is alternate angles. Right, we need to find the length of DC here. We can use tangent 27 degrees equals to CD over 135. Hence, CD will be 135 times tangent 27 degrees, which is 68.8 meters to 3SF. Hence, to answer the question, the height of the cliff is 68.8 meters. Question 6. Given this vector diagram, ABCD is a parallelogram. Vector AB equals 2P and vector BC equals 3Q. R is the point on AD such that the ratio of AR to RD equals 2 to 1. A. Express vector RC as simply as possible in terms of P and Q. 2 marks. So this is the vector RC that we need to find. And AR part is 2 parts, RD is 1 part, as given by the question. Before we want to find vector RC, we need to find vector RD first. So vector RD will be 1/3 of vector AD. And AD is equals to BC, hence vector RD is 1/3 vector BC, which is 1/3 times 3Q, and we get vector RD equals to Q. Now, I want to find vector RC. We can apply the chain rule to find vector RC, which is vector RD plus vector DC. DC is equals to AB because again it is the opposite sides of the parallelogram. It will be equal. So RD will be Q and AB is 2P. Hence, this is the answer for vector RC, Q plus 2P. Next, question B. S is a point on AD and T is a point on CD such that vector RC equals 2 times of vector ST. 1. Show that triangles RCD and STD are similar. Give a reason for each statement you make. 3 marks. Alright, so to prove similar triangles, we need to use AA similarity property. So since RC is in the form of KST, this means that RC is parallel with ST. So let's draw a parallel vectors with vector RC here. And this is point S, this is point T. So we can say that angle STT is common angle, and angle TSD is equals to angle CRD because it is corresponding angles. Then by AA property, triangle RCD equals triangle RCD and triangle STD are similar, hence shown. Part 2. Find the ratio of area triangle STD to area of the parallelogram ABCD. 2 marks. So since triangle RCD and triangle STD are similar and the RC equals to 2 times of ST, then the area of triangle STD over the area of triangle RCD is half square, which is 1/4. Now from the diagram, we draw this diagonal line AC, and we can compare to the area of triangle RCD with the area of triangle ACD. They are equals to RD over AD because they are triangles sharing the common height. So triangles sharing the common height, when we want to find the ratio of the area, it will be the ratio of the base. So RD is the base length of triangle RCD, and AD is the base length of the triangle ACD. So from here, we know that it is 1/3. Hence, the area of triangle RCD over the area of the parallelogram ABCD is 1/6 because the parallelogram is made out of 2 times of the triangle ACD. Now, we can find the area of triangle STD over the area of triangle, the area of the parallelogram ABCD. So, which is area of triangle STD over area of triangle RCD times the area of triangle RCD over the area of the parallelogram ABCD. Okay, so why is it so? Because as you can see, we actually can cancel this with this to get this area over this area. Okay, we know this number, which is 1/4, and this value is 1/6. So multiply this fraction together, it will be 1/24. Hence, write this in the ratio form. Area of the triangle STD to the area of the parallelogram ABCD, it is equals to 1/24. Part 3. Q is a point on BC. Triangle QAB is congruent to triangle RCD. Find vector QR as simply as possible in terms of P and Q. 2 marks. So let's label on the diagram so that we can see the picture clearer. So this is point Q. Given that triangle QAB is congruent to triangle RCD, so this is the line AQ, and this line should be parallel with the line RC since the triangle ABQ is congruent to triangle RCD. So this is the vector QR that we need to find. So from here, this is one part, this is 2 parts. It should be similar with the line AR and RD. Okay, so now we can find the vector QR by applying the chain rule. It is the vector QC plus the vector CR. So vector QC is 2/3 of vector BC. For the vector CR, it is negative vector RC. Vector BC is 3Q and vector RC is Q plus 2P. We substitute into the equation. We will get 2/3 times 3Q minus bracket Q plus 2P. Simplify, we get 2Q minus Q minus 2P, and the answer will be Q minus 2P. Question 7. An open box is in the shape of a cuboid. The height of the box is 5 cm less than its length. The width of the box is twice its height. A. Given that the length of the box is x cm, write down an expression in terms of x, the height and the width of the box. 2 marks. So given that the length of the box is x cm, then length equals x cm. So we need to write the expression for the height and the width. So the description here says that the height of the box is 5 cm less than its length. Hence, the height is x minus 5 cm. On the other hand, the width of the box is twice its height. Hence, width equals to 2 times x minus 5 cm. We can also sketch this box and label all these parameters out. So this is a cuboid box. The length is x cm, the height is x minus 5 cm, and the width is 2 times x minus 5 cm. With this diagram, we can easily answer the next question, B. The external surface area of the box is 48 centimeters square. Write down an equation to represent this information and show that it simplifies to 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals 0. 3 marks. So given that the surface area is 48 centimeters square, so 48 equals, let's see how we can get the equation for the surface area. So first, we can look at the surface of the front and the back of the box, which is 2 times of x minus 5 times x. Then the left and the right surface, which is 2 times of x minus 5 times 2 times x minus 5. Remember, this is an open box, hence we only have the bottom surface but we don't have the top surface. So the area will be x times 2 times of x minus 5. With this equation written correctly, then we can simplify it. 48 equals 2x squared minus 10x, then plus 4 times x minus 5 squared plus 2x squared minus 10x. And we further simplify this equation. 48 equals 4x squared minus 20x plus 4 times x squared minus 10x plus 25. Then expand the bracket again. We'll get 4x squared minus 20x plus 4x squared minus 40x plus 100. Hence, 48 equals to 8x squared minus 60x plus 100. So we move the 48 to the right hand side, which makes it to be 0, equals 8x squared minus 60x plus 52. Now we can simplify this equation by dividing 4 for both sides, and we'll get the equation that we need to prove, which is 0 equals 2x squared minus 15x plus 13, hence shown. C. Solve the equation 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals 0. 3 marks. So to solve this quadratic equation, there are several ways to do it. Over here, I will show you the cross factorization method. So first, we build this table, and then we think about what is the factor of 2x squared. It will be x times 2x, we get 2x squared. Next, we move on to thinking about the factors of the third term, which is 13. So it will be negative 1, negative 13. So negative 1 times negative 13, we get positive 13. Then we cross multiply 2x times negative 1, we get negative 2x. X times negative 13, we get negative 13x. So negative 2x minus plus negative 13x, we get negative 15x. So once all these three terms are correct, then we can look for the factors for this equation. So the first factor is x minus 1, and the second factor is 2x minus 13. So x minus 1 times 2x minus 13 equals 0. Hence, we solve this equation, x minus 1 equals 0, or 2x minus 13 equals to 0. The answer for x is 1, or x equals 6.5. but we need to reject x equals to 1. What's the reason? This comes to the next question, D. Explain why one of the solutions in the part C must be rejected as the length of the box. 1 mark. So why is it that we need to reject x equals to 1? The reason is because when x equals to 1, the height will be 1 minus 5, which is negative 4 centimeters. And the width is 2 times 1 minus 5, which is negative 8 centimeters. So length in negative number does not make sense. So both height and width should not be negative numbers. Therefore, we reject the answer x equals to 1. Next, E. Calculate the volume of the box. 2 marks. So we know the length is 6.5 cm. The height will be 6.5 minus 5, which is 1.5 cm. And the width is 2 times 1.5, which is 3.0 cm. So the volume for the box, which is in cuboid shape, is the length times the height times the width. Then substitute the values that we have calculated. 6.5 times 1.5 times 3, we get 29.25 centimeters cube. Question 8. Given this diagram, the diagram shows a semicircle, center O, radius 30 cm. M is the midpoint of the chord AB. OM equals 20 cm. A. Show that angle AOB equals 96.4 degrees correct to 3 significant figures. 2 marks. So to calculate the angle of AOB, first we need to look at this right angle triangle. Given that the radius is 30 cm, hence OA is 30. Also, OM is 20 cm. Then we need to find this angle AOM. We can use cosine angle AOM, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent length is 20 and the hypotenuse is 30. So angle AOM will be inverse of cosine 2 over 3. And the value is 48.2 degrees to 3 significant figures. Then angle AOB will be 2 times of angle AOM because OM is the angle bisector of isosceles triangle OAB, which is 2 times of 48.2 degrees, and we'll get 96.4 degrees. B. Calculate the shaded area. 4 marks. Before we want to calculate the shaded area, the first thing we need to do is we need to calculate the length of AB. But to calculate the length of AB, we need to calculate the length of AM. By applying Pythagoras theorem, OA square equals OM square plus AM square. Then we substitute the values, which is 30 square equals 20 square plus AM square. Hence, AM will be square root of 500. Then AB will be 2 times of AM, which is 2 times of square root of 500. And now we can find the area of the shaded region, which is the area of sector AOB minus the area of triangle AOB. The area of sector AOB is 96.4 degrees over 360 degrees times pi r square, which is pi times 30 square. And then minus with the area of triangle AOB, which is half times base times height. And the value will be half times 2 times of square root of 500 times 20. Then we calculate everything with calculator. We'll have 309.910234. Round up to 3SF, then the answer will be 310 centimeters squared. C. The semicircle is the cross-section of a water trough of length 1.5 meters standing on level ground. The shaded area represents the water in the trough. Part 1. Calculate the volume of water in centimeters cubed in the trough. 2 marks. So to calculate the volume of the water in the trough, it will be the cross-sectional area multiplied with the length. So we have already calculated the cross-sectional area, which is 309.910234. Then multiply with the length, given is 1.5 meters. But we need to find the volume in centimeters cubed. So we have to convert 1.5 meters to centimeters, which is 150 centimeters. Then we multiply these two numbers together. We will get this number, 46,486.5351 or 3SF 46,500 centimeters cube. Part 2. Calculate the number of liters of water that must be added to fill the trough. Give your answer correct to the nearest 10 liters. 3 marks. So to calculate the number of liters of water that need to be added, the first thing we need to do is we need to find the volume of the whole trough. But before that, we need to find the area of the semicircle, which is formula half pi r square. The radius is 30, so it becomes half pi times 30 square, which will get 450 pi. Then, to find the volume of the trough, we'll take the area of the semicircle, multiply the length, so 450 pi times 150, and we'll get 212,057.5041 centimeters cube. Now, we can find the volume of the water to be added, which is the volume of the trough minus the volume of the water in the trough. So, the value will be 212,057.5041 minus with 46,486.5351, and we'll get 165,570 centimeters cube. Since 1 centimeters cube equals to 1 ml, then it is also 165,570 ml. And convert to liters, it becomes 165.570 liters. And we leave our answer in nearest 10 liters, then the answer will be 170 liters.
Question 9. A. The speed of 80 cars passing a checkpoint one morning were recorded. The cumulative frequency curve below shows the distribution of the speeds. 1. Use the curve to estimate A. The median speed. 1 mark. We know that median means middle number. So for this case, we have 80 cars, and when we divide it by 2, we get 40. So from the cumulative frequency curve, when the frequency is 40, then the speed will be 42. Hence, median equals 42 kilometers per hour. B. The interquartile range of the speeds. 2 marks. So to find the interquartile range, we need to first find the lower quartile. So to find the lower quartile, for this case, it will be 80 times 1 over 4, and we get 20. So which means that when the frequency is 20, from the curve, we get the speed is 37. This means that the lower quartile is equals to 37 kilometers per hour. Next, we find the upper quartile. For this case, it's 80 times 3 quarter, and we get 60. So from the curve, when the cumulative frequency is 60, then the speed will be 46. So which means the upper quartile will be 46 kilometers per hour. And now we can find interquartile range, which is upper quartile minus lower quartile. So it will be 46 minus 37, and we get 9 kilometers per hour. Part 2. The speed limit on the road is 50 kilometers per hour. Estimate the percentage of the cars that exceeded the speed limit. 2 marks. So from the cumulative frequency curve, when the speed is 50, the cumulative frequency is 73. So this means that there are 73 cars, speed is less than 50 kilometers per hour. So the number of cars that exceeded 50 kilometers per hour will be 80 minus 73. Hence, the percentage of cars which exceed the limit will be 80 minus 73 divided by 80 times 100%, which we get 8.75%. Part 3. The speeds of 80 cars passing the same checkpoint in the afternoon were also recorded. The box and whiskers plot shows the distribution of the speeds. Make 2 comments comparing the speeds of the cars in the morning and in the afternoon. 2 marks. Right, so to answer this question, usually we want to compare the median and the interquartile range. So let's study the box and whiskers diagram first. So this number tells us the median, which is 40 kilometers per hour. This line tells us the lower quartile, which is 34 kilometers per hour. And this line tells us the upper quartile, which is 42 kilometers per hour. Hence, interquartile range will be 42 minus 34, which is 8 kilometers per hour. So once we get the median and the interquartile range, now we can compare this data and the previous data. So now the first comment we can say that the cars in the afternoon passes the checkpoint at slower speed on average compared to the cars in the morning, as the median in the afternoon, which is 40 kilometers per hour, is lower than the median in the morning, which is 42 kilometers per hour. And the second comment that we can make is the speeds of the cars in the afternoon were more consistent than the speeds of the car in the morning, as the interquartile range in the afternoon, which is 8 kilometers per hour, is lower than the interquartile range, which is 9 kilometers per hour in the morning. B. Given this table, the table summarizes the number of passengers in each of the cars in the morning. Part 1. One of the cars is selected at random. Find the probability that it has no passengers. 1 mark. So the probability that the car has no passengers will be equals to 34 over 80. The reason is because from the table we can see that there are 34 cars has 0 passengers. So it will be 34 over total 80. Then we simplify, becomes 17 over 40. Part 2. Two of the cars are selected at random. Find as a fraction in its simplest form the probability that A. They both had 4 passengers. 2 marks. So to find the probability that both had 4 passengers, this is a without replacement case. So the first one will be the probability of the first car has 4 passengers. So from the table we can see that there are 5 cars have 4 passengers, hence it will be 5 over 80. Next, since one car has been selected, then the second car will reduce to 4. Alright, remember the first car has been chosen, so the second car total has of 4 passengers is reduced to 4. Same as the total number of cars will be reduced by 1, from 80 becomes 79. They multiply these two fractions and simplify, we'll get 1 over 316. B. One had more than 2 passengers and the other had fewer than 2 passengers. 2 marks. So to find the probability that one car has more than 2 passengers and one car has less than 2 passengers, the combination will be the probability of the first car has more than 2 passengers and the probability of second car has less than 2 passengers, or, which means is plus, the probability of the first car has less than 2 passengers and the passengers of the second car has more than 2 passengers. Alright, now let's find one by one. The probability that the first car has more than 2 passengers will be these two scenarios. So total will 11 plus 5 cars has more than 2 passengers and divided by total 80. Then the second probability is less than 2 passengers. So less than 2 passengers will be these two cases, so 34 plus 17. But the total number has reduced by 1 because, again, for this case, it is without replacement case. So one car has been chosen as a first car, so total becomes 79. Or the second case, the probability that the first car has less than 2 passengers, which is these two cases, so it's 34 plus 17 divided by total 80, times if the passengers which has greater than 2 passengers, which is these two cases, then it's plus 11 plus 5 over and 79, again reduced by one car because this is a without replacement case. They calculate everything and simplify, we get 102 over 395. Question 10. Nurul is planning a weekly exercise routine. She has read the following health advice. So here is the health advice. Time. For optimal health benefits, aim to accumulate 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity each week. Some individuals may need to accumulate 250 minutes a week to prevent weight gain. 1 minute of vigorous intensity activity equals 2 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity. Example, 10 minutes of jogging equals 20 minutes of brisk walking. She plans to go for 3 brisk walks each week. The map shows her planned route around her local reservoir. A. Estimate the length of Nurul's route. 2 marks. Alright, so to calculate the estimated length of Nurul's route, the first thing is we need to measure the route on the map. So this is a scale map. You can take out a ruler and measure the whole route, which is, I have colored red here, the red line here. Alright, so you take out the ruler and measure all the distance from here. You should get the measured length as 27.9 cm. Alright, using this measured length, we can calculate the estimated length using the scale given here, 1 to 20,000. So this means the scale is 1 centimeters to 20,000 centimeters, or 1 cm to 200 meters, or 1 cm to 0.2 kilometers. So I want to convert 27.9 cm to kilometers, which is 27.9 centimeters equivalent to 27.9 times 0.2, which is 5.58 kilometers. So this is the estimated length of Nurul's route. Then B. Nurul aims to walk at 6.5 kilometers per hour. Does Nurul meet the weekly time target recommended in the health advice if she walks at this speed? Show how you decide. 2 marks. So to answer this question, we know that speed equals distance over time. Now to calculate the time, it will be distance over the speed. So the time that Nurul will exercise for the whole week will be 5.58, which is the distance that we have calculated in part A. Then times it 3. Why times 3? Because she plans to go for 3 brisk walks each week. Alright, so and over here also I can explain why I want to convert the estimated length in kilometers, not in meters. So if I converted to kilometers, over here the speed is given in kilometers per hour. So that's why we can just take 5.58 times 3 divided by the speed, which is 6.5 here. They calculate everything here using calculator. We get 2.58 hours. Then we can convert to the minutes times 60 minutes. We'll get 155 minutes rounded up to 3SF. So that why we want to convert to minutes? So that we can compare the suggested time, 150 minutes. Okay, so Nurul's time is greater than 150 minutes. Then yes, she meets the target. To use more calories during the exercise, Nurul decides to jog the same route 3 times each week instead of walking. Nurul weighs 70 kilograms and she estimates that her jogging speed will be 9.5 kilometers per hour. She finds the following information on the internet. So this is a table which shows the approximate calories used during 30 minutes of exercise. Nurul thinks that she will meet the target for time and that she will use more than double the amount of calories. Is Nurul correct? Justify your decision with calculations. 6 marks. Alright, so for this question, there are 2 things we need to justify. The first thing is whether Nurul will meet the target for time, and second, that she will use more than double the amount of calories if she jog instead of brisk walk. Okay, so this whole table, we don't have to use all the information here. We just need to look for this column 70 kilograms because this is Nuru's weight. And this table is approximate calories for 30 minutes exercise. Okay, so don't forget about the information here. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to find whether how much is the calorie that Nuru will use if she walks at 6.5 kilometers per hour for 155 minutes. Okay, so we will look for this information where the walking speed is 6.5 kilometers per hour. So given it is 150 calories for 30 minutes. So to calculate the total calorie use for 155 minutes, there will be 150 divided by 30 times 155. And we'll get 755 calories. Okay, again remember why we divide by 30, because this number is for 30 minutes. Then we times 155 minutes. Okay, so this is the calorie that Nuru will use if she walks at 6.5 kilometers per hour for 155 minutes. And if she jogs at 9.5 kilometers per hour, then the time will be distance over speed. So distance will be 5.5 kilometers, and then times it 3 times because she will jog for 3 times a week. Then divided by the speed 9.5. Calculate, we get 1.762 hours. We convert to minutes, then we times with 60 minutes, which is 105.7 minutes. So this time is greater than 75 minutes. We can say that she meets the time target. Now, we want to calculate the total calorie use if she jogs. Then we need to look for this column. Jogging at a speed of 9.5 kilometers per hour, the calories used will be 345 calories in 30 minutes. But for this time, 105.7 minutes, then we 345 divided by 30 times 105.7, which is 1215.55 calories, while the target is 2 times of 755, and we get 1510 calories. Then we compare these two values, we find that the total calorie use is less than the target. Hence, the second question to answer is no, she does not meet the calorie target.
Alright, that's the end of the paper, and that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Do you have any question or doubts to ask? Feel free to write it down in the comment. I would love to hear from you. Do you like this video? Please don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Until then, see you in the next video. Have a great day ahead and all the best.